Man, what's going on? Oh yeah, by the way, this your boy Blackout Jones. This is Just Shooting the Sports. So legend has it that I'm hearing that Legend Bay could be asking for his release once he turns 18. I'm hearing that he was forced to sign his national letter of intent to the University of Tennessee when he didn't want to. I'm gonna talk about that and a whole lot more, but when I tell you this couldn't get more crazier for the University of Tennessee, I mean, how fitting. I guess this is what it is being a volunteer. But you know what? I want to change it for a thing. Let's go.
Survive if I let you.
What's good, folks? Like I was saying, man, what is going on, man? Look, listen, Legend Bay, 4-star athlete out of Texas. He, and back in July, he committed to the Tennessee Volunteers. And then, of course, last month, he decided he wanted to flip his commitment to the Ohio State Buckeyes. And then yesterday, during the 2026 early National Signing Day, he flips his commitment back to the University of Tennessee. But oh, did it come with a cost? Because legend has it, like I stated before, allegedly, when it was time for him to sign, of course, with him being, and I didn't even know this, but with him being under the age of 18, his mother had to sign off on his contract to the Ohio State University. Well, his mom wasn't trying to hear that. There are rumblings that his mother preferred him to sign with the University of Tennessee because of NIL consideration. Not sure how much that was or how much it is, but evidently it must have been more than whatever Ohio State was offering. Now, don't get it twisted. Legend Bay is a pure athlete. I've seen his highlights. He is a star in the making. Would he be a great fit for our offense? Absolutely. Why not? He's a speedster. He plays quarterback at his high school. I want to say it's Forney High School, if I'm not mistaken, in Texas. He plays quarterback. He does it all. Run, pass. I mean, he slices and dices through that defense like with the greatest of ease. But if this is how we're getting him, then I don't want that for the young man. You know, I'd rather for a man to go with his heart, to go with what he feels is best for him, and not to be coerced by his family members, if that is the case. We still don't know for sure. Now, there was word that he put out a Twitter message earlier today or earlier yesterday, whenever it was. Let me take a look and see here what was said. So yeah, he stated that, good afternoon. I was just recently logged out of my IG and probably will be logged out of this account as well by my older brother who has access to my account because I won't sign to the school him and my mother once. Legend Bay. And then next thing you know, his account is no more. But he stated that he was allegedly, he stated that, they stated that Bay posted a cryptic message on X implying that his hand was forced by overbearing family members. His mother and brother are apparently holding his future hostage. Yeah, I don't want it that way. You know, he's a great talent because I understand something. The picture is out. Everybody knows. At his signing day, everything was Ohio State. He was wearing Ohio State gear. He had Ohio State cupcakes. He had Ohio State balloons. He had Ohio State table cover. So, of course, you already know where he's going. He's going to Ohio State. That's why it shocked me and it surprised me when he did flip. Now, my first impression was because Brian Hartline, who was the OC and wide receivers coach, he left and took the job to USF. But evidently, that wasn't even the case either. That wasn't going to stop him trying to sign with Ohio State. But, you know, sometimes, man, it happens. Remember years ago, I forgot my man, I think his name was Jermaine Copeland, if I'm not mistaken. And remember, it was down to Alabama, Tennessee, and the Gators, right? And when he chose the Gators, y'all remember when his mom walked off, like on national television, which broke that man's heart? And of course, the mom later apologized, but that's just something that you don't do. No matter what you feel, that you want no matter how you feel about the decision that your son made, your baby made, you know what I mean? You got to live with that. But to walk off on national television, because the story was she didn't want him to stay in Florida because of some things that, that were going on where he was living at. So she didn't want him to stay in Florida. She felt like the best fit for him was to go to Tennessee or Alabama. She just wanted him out of the state. You know what I mean? And I understand that, but at the same time, you don't embarrass your kid like that. This situation here is kind of the same situation. It's like your kid didn't want to come to Tennessee. Now, me personally, as a fan of the Volunteers, do you want someone to come to your university when they don't want to, allegedly? And I'm saying allegedly because, it's possible that this whole thing is a ruse. And that didn't take, that didn't take place. We don't know if an account was hacked or not. Only thing I can go by is what I see here, and that is what Legend Bay said. Everything that he said before his account got closed. So we just got to wait and see. Now, what can come after this is what I've been hearing, he can ask for his release once he turns 18. At that point, he's an adult and he can make his own decisions from here on out. So that could be the case. But another option is, even though he signed, and even though he signed his name to that NILI, National Letter of Intent contract, he can wait and go to he can go into the transfer portal. That can happen. And I'm pretty sure Ohio State will welcome him with open arms. But this thing is chaos. It's all over the place. It's a mess. And it shouldn't be this way. It really shouldn't. Unfortunately, it happened on our dime, on our time. And of course, the haters, they're going to run off at the mouth, but I really don't care. You do what you do. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Hell, I probably do if it was Alabama and this happened. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, it's still petty, but as fans, you know how we do. We troll. We like to do that to our rivals, our the opposition, if you will. Hell, we do this with our family members and our friends. We troll each other, when things like this happen. But hopefully this gets worked out. If he chooses to stay with Tennessee, hey, we love to have you. But if you choose to go to Ohio State, and that's where your heart is leading you, then all means, sir, go ahead, follow your dreams, and play where you want to be at. We shouldn't have no hard feelings. At the end of the day, he's still a kid. You know what I mean? And sometimes, we've done it too as kids. We've had family members that will, they'll tell you, hey, this is what you need to be like. This is what you need to do, knowing in your heart that ain't what you want to be like, and it sure as hell ain't what you want to do. I've had people when I did have hair, that would tell me, hey, you need to cut your hair off. You know what I'm saying? Because, corporate, they're not going to like that. I didn't care about all that. I wasn't trying to be in corporate anyway. So they ain't have nothing to do with me and my hair at that time. But that's what family does. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes those hard decisions is like, you want to do right by your family. You want to be a great example for your family. But sometimes, man, you got to make decisions on your own. You know what I'm saying? You got to make decisions on what you feel here. That's just like that young man. And I hated for this young man. You remember that submarine that imploded? Well, that young man, he didn't want to go on there. But why did he go on there? Because he wanted to impress his dad and he didn't want to let him down. Sad, man. You know what I'm saying? What those decisions can lead you to. I know that's going deep, but damn, I didn't mean to say that. Jesus. Scratch that. But anyway, hey man, how do y'all feel about this, man? What are y'all thoughts on this, man? We just gonna have to sit back, relax, and see what happens. I mean, even if he doesn't come to Tennessee, hey, we still got players. You know what I mean? So I'm not really worried about that. We're still deep at wide receiver, but he would be fantastic as a wide out running back, punt returner, kick returner, wherever he wants to be, put them there. But anyway, you know who I am, Blackout Jones. You know where we at, Just Shooting the Sports. And once again, thank you everyone for coming to my page and showing that support and commenting, liking, following, sharing, doing all those great things, and subscribing. Make sure you do that. Make sure you hit that notification bell and hit all so you can get everything that I'm going to bring out each and every week. But until then, you know when I talk about that power T right there and the one beside me, you already know what it is. Go Big Orange and go damn VOLS.
Survive if I let you.